Hey guys, Harrison back at it once again for a brand new video for you. And welcome to our second 5 thoughts heading into video. This is my glorified race preview series with a bit of fancy editing, some fancy music, and me making more opinions heading into a race. Practice 2 is actually going along right now as I'm recording this video, but I thought, let me take a breather, stop, and let's break down some 5 major points heading into the championship battle as we head to Belgium and the 2013 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps.
All hail the smiling assassin of Australia. Well, the looks of things, if rumours are to be believed, now that Kimi Raikkonen seems to have pulled out of the race, according to his agent, the road looks pretty much clear that Daniel Ricciardo will end up taking the Red Bull seat Mark Webber leaves behind from one Australian to another for the 2014 season and beyond. Congratulations to Daniel Ricciardo. I must admit, he's a really nice guy. He's definitely a team player. He's always smiling. He's one of those constantly upbeat kind of guys. And I think he'll be a really good fit in the Red Bull team as a supporting driver behind Sebastian Vettel. I'll talk more about that in my second thought, but I think of all the guys that were available, or probably going to be available, he probably was the best shot. Paul di Resta has his eyes set on Ferrari more than anything else. Nico Hülkenberg has his eyes on the Ferrari seat as well, even though Hülkenberg I thought was a bit of a dark horse runner, and may still be a dark horse runner for all we know. And Raikkonen was obviously the best driver available, but he may not necessarily have been the best possible fit for Red Bull's team, their direction and their motives. So of all the guys available, I think Ricciardo probably has the biggest upside, as well as the safest bet for team chemistry and whatnot, because I think Ricciardo knows he's going to be a number 2 guy at Red Bull system, and I'm sure he'll be perfectly okay with that given the upgraded material he's going to have when it kind of comes to car performance and whatnot. I think Ricciardo will be a good fit, and there's no reason why he can't challenge for podiums or race wins next season if the Red Bull car remains competitive. Okay, show of hands. Who was disappointed it wasn't Raikkonen? You can't see it, but my hand's up too. I'm going to be straight up honest here. I would have loved it for it to be Kimi Raikkonen. One, because Raikkonen is my second favourite driver in Formula 1, but more importantly, because it would have given Vettel a nice extra push. We may have been able to see Vettel at his absolute best with an elite partner in Kimi Raikkonen there. But I can understand why it wasn't done. This is another one of those team purposes against fan entertainment debates that Formula 1 keeps coming up with and keeps conjuring up. But let's be real here. Dream Team mechanics just don't work in Formula 1. It's counterproductive. The two guys take too many points of each other and they both have their championship chances weakened as a result. It just doesn't help the situation. The Ferrari model that they run now is tended to be the one that's worked most over the last years. Having an elite first driver and a number 2 playing a supporting role like Felipe Massa or like Mark Webber has done for the most part over the years. Because over the years, Webber hasn't really been a consistent challenge to Sebastian Vettel. So I can see why they went for Ricciardo, but as a fan and as an entertainment fan at the end of the day, I would have loved to have seen Kimi Raikkonen join there. I think Raikkonen would have worked absolutely fine as and I use this with inverted commas, number 2 driver, because Raikkonen's attitude is very I don't give a shit kind of thing, if you know what I mean, in terms of he wouldn't really care if he was labelled as a number 2 because he just gets in the car and drives. So in this case it would have been a rare exception, but I think Raikkonen is too good to play that second fiddle kind of role. Because let's be real here, Red Bull is built around Vettel. There's nothing wrong with that ultimately, is there? Not gonna lie, this stems from a bit of personal, thing, because I'm a broadcast journalism student myself, and I'm really getting sick and tired of Sky and BBC blatantly showing bias towards Lewis Hamilton. Those guys who aren't in the UK probably won't understand this, but I remember watching the BBC's preview for Spa as a commercial, and they were saying, oh, Lewis Hamilton seems to have nurtured his demons, but can anyone stop Vettel's dominance? And I'm like, problems? Hamilton's had one bad race and he's finished in the top 5 every other race this season. He didn't have any demons. He's been really consistent and he's had an excellent season so far. Like, seriously, Hamilton is not a sympathetic figure in Formula 1 anymore. He's one of the best drivers in the sport, for crying out loud. I know the BBC have always shown Hamilton bias, especially on their website when it comes to journalistic writing. Guys like Andrew Benson blatantly prop up Hamilton at every given opportunity. But just because we're British and Hamilton is the best British driver in Formula 1 doesn't necessarily mean you forget your journalistic principles in order to, you know, make a bit more money or generate a few more page hits. I hate when stuff like that happens. I get it. Hamilton is the most exciting driver in Formula 1 and he's one of the best drivers in Formula 1. I understand that. But at the same time, do your job properly, okay? Like, I want to become a better example of being unbiased and whatnot when it comes to journalism and broadcasting and things like that. And when the guys that are meant to be producing world-class broadcasting content for sports start doing things like that, it kind of irks me, I'm not going to lie. Speaking of lazy journalism, this seems to be the time of year where all these Formula 1 news sites and bloggers on there start to generate and speculate hype about who goes where next season when it comes to drivers and whatnot. Especially now with the recent news that it turns out that Kimi Raikkonen will not be joining Red Bull. Rumours have now started to circulate about where he could end up next year, about whether will he stay at Lotus-Renault or possibly a return to Ferrari from his 2007-2008 days. It's an interesting one, that's for sure, but I do have to kind of wonder as well, where does that leave Fernando Alonso? Ferrari have never been one to go down the road of having two elite drivers in the same team. There's always been, for the last 20 or so years, one headlining guy and another rotational backup guy. It's always been one of those things. Raikkonen doesn't fit unless Alonso gets cut. Now, let's put it this way. I don't think Ferrari is going to get rid of Alonso anytime soon. They know that his role within the team is a very important one. They know that there's not going to be another driver to come along of his quality until Sebastian Vettel may want to leave Red Bull. So I think this whole thing is just basically media red herrings and people trying to stir up speculation heading into the middle part of the season. I think it's all just a little bit chaotic. I don't see Raikkonen leaving the team, even if Mystic Eddie Jordan seems to think so. And Alonso at Lotus, can you really see that? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. There's always one more factor going into these races, and that is the fact that in Spa, the weather right now is not wonderful. Constant threat of showers, cool temperatures, and the possibility of rain, which always makes things a little bit more interesting. Could guys like Bottas and Verne shoot their way back up the field again if it starts to rain, or if we have wet qualifying sessions and whatnot? That's an interesting factor. Will these random tyre pop-outs of Sebastian Vettel and Gino van der Garde having a crash influence anything? You know, the prophetic conspiracy theories are always out there in force. Not to mention, will the cooler temperatures mean Lotus and Mercedes struggle a little bit? Will the high-speed corners mean Mercedes tyre lows have an effect on them and their tyre wear? There's always these great interesting factors. My money is on Lewis Hamilton to win in Spa. I think he has started to master that Mercedes car. He likes Spa as a track, and of course, because it's a Mercedes, it's bound to qualify in the front row at worst. So I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton to win. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me talk properly first of all. But also, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Who do you think will win at the Belgian Grand Prix this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. But in all seriousness, I hope you guys enjoyed this 5 points video. 5 of my major points, talking about the championship a little bit, talking about possible driver rotations, a little bit of media bit in there as well, thrown in there, heading into Belgium. I'd love to hear your thoughts going into this race as well, so please feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up, and of course to comment on any of the thoughts you noticed in the video, or anything of your own that you want to hear my take on. I'd love to hear them. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the Belgian Grand Prix this weekend, as well as the MotoGP from the Czech Republic as well. So it's a double header, this race. But I hope you guys enjoyed all of that, and I will catch you all next time. Sayonara.